Right, so we need a button. So how to use it? First, just like anything in React Native, we need to import the component. So I'm gonna say button, and I'm gonna go right here, just below the text input, and I'm gonna make a reference to this button component. Now, if we do something like this, like we do in web, maybe the name of the button, nothing is gonna work. We're gonna get an error message, you know? So this will not work like this. So what we need to do to pass the name of the button of what we're gonna be getting inside of the button, it's a title. So the prop calls title, and in this case, since we're gonna be adding users, I'm gonna say add user, right? Okay. So I'm gonna reload the application, and we get the button right here. So the prop onPress, and by default, I'm gonna close this. By default, inside the button, we need to put an impress. You know, the button by default, it's to click something, you know, to click it. So we don't need to wrap the button inside of a touchable with opacity. By default, we get this functionality, but you know, we need to add it. We need to add an onPress. So for now, I'm gonna say onPress equals to, and we will do something later, maybe alert and you know, add user, something like that. Whatever, doesn't matter right now. So I'm gonna reload the application, and we don't get this message. Now for Android, let me reload the application. The button looks a little bit different, and this is normal, and this is because this button is a native button. It's not something that you know, React is creating for us. It's a native onPress button, so that's why we get different styles. So, okay, but that is good. You know, they work the same way. If I click it, we get an alert, and right here, if I click it, of course, we get an alert. That's good. So now what I want to do whenever I click add user, I'm going to be adding whatever value we have right here to a list of users that we're going to put right here at the bottom. So first we need to create the logic of the list. So I'm going to go to the state, I'm going to do comma and say users, and this one is going to be just an array with some names, maybe John and maybe, I don't know, James, whatever. So now I'm going to go at the bottom below the onPress, and it's going to be, you know, just looping that users, that state of users. So it's this dot state dot users dot, and then we map over it. And we're going to be passing each item, and then we just return some JSX, standard React. And I'm going to say just text and the name of the, you know, the name of the user item. So we're going to change this in a minute. So I'm going to reload the application, and we get John and James. So that is good. All right. I'm going to be adding the key in a minute. So now what I want to do, I want to manage the onPress right here. Whenever we click it, we want to add a user. Okay. So I'm going to create a new function on add user, and this one is going to be just a function open and close. And what we do, we're going to grab whatever we have inside the input, and we're going to push it to the end of the list. That is the idea. So, okay. So first, I'm going to copy the name of the function and tell the button that whenever we press it, we want to run this dot on add user, right? That's what we want to do. And now inside of add user, we just change the state. So this dot set state, open and close. And I'm going to be grabbing the previous state, prep state, and then returning something. So I'm going to say return, open and close. And what we will be returning is going to be my input, and we're going to, you know, reset it back to nothing. And then the users, and it's going to be a mix of the users we had in the previous state and the new user we are adding from the input. Right. So it's dot dot dot, just like we did before, previous state dot users. So now this users contains the users we had from before. And I'm going to do, users, plural. I'm going to do comma, and I'm going to be adding at the end of the list whatever I have inside previous state and my input. Okay, so that is good. You know, that will work. I'm going to reload the application, going to reload it. And for example, nothing is going to happen. So if I type, I don't know, Marcy right here, I'm going to add user, and we get it right here. If I type Michael, something like that, I add it and it works. And inside Android, I'm going to reload the application. Same thing. Marcy. I'm going to be adding the user. Oh, you know, it's a little bit slow, so it type it twice. So right here. Remember, I'm running 2 operating systems at the same time. So okay, this works. Now I would like to change the stylings right here, and I'm going to show you something, a problem that we're going to get, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it on the next section. So first, I'm going to change the stylings of the text. So I'm going to be adding style equal to styles dot users. And I'm going to be adding a key so I can get rid of that error message. So a key is going to be equal to item, something like that. And I'm going to go right here at the bottom and add the users style, users, open and close, and font size. And I'm going to make it real big because I want to show you something. I'm going somewhere right here. I'm not just fooling around with the styles. So I'm gonna add a border and width, and maybe I mentioned this before, I'm not really sure. Whenever you use border, you cannot use it like just maybe border 1 pic solid red. You need to specify the width first and then say which border you want to get. In this case, we want all borders, right? So I'm going to say border color, border, and then color, and not red. Maybe I don't know, CE, something gray. CE. Oh, let me make it. There we go. CE. Very good. Comma. I'm gonna be adding a padding, and then maybe a margin bottom of 20 pixels. Okay, this will look nice. Now I'm gonna go at the top, and instead of getting just 2 elements, 2 users, I'm gonna be adding more. Maybe Francis. And again, I'm going somewhere, just bear with me. Lisa, and then Martha. One more, let's do Steve. I like that name, strong name, Steve. Sorry, I'm making a lot of mistakes. There's a lag when I type, and it's because my machine has 16 gigabytes, and it might be using 15. I'm using a lot of things. So I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna reload the application. And now, we get the names big. Now we have John, James, Francis, Lisa, and if I scroll down, we're gonna get Martha and Steve. Now I'm just dragging, and nothing happens. So by default, the application does not know where your component is gonna start and when it's gonna end. So it will not add by default a scrolling thing. It's not gonna let you scroll. It's gonna end right here. So how can we fix this? So there's a new component from React Native that calls scroll view. So if you know that this list is going to be bigger than the viewport, you need to use scroll view. So let's go to the next section and use this scroll view.